The question that we often get asked when it comes to the married couple is, are we supposed to get the second citizenship or just one of us? Let's talk about that today. Hi everyone, I'm Irena from Nomad Capitalist, where we help people to go where they're treated best. So today I will try to bring you a bit more closer to the topics and to the answer to your question if both of you should get the second citizenship or just one. Now this depends on a lot of factors, so I'll try to go over some of them and hope to answer your question. Let's firstly go over some of the ways in how you can get your second citizenship. One of the ways in how you can get your second citizenship is, for example, by birth. Of course, that would be your citizenship and you would keep that one and that's it. Another way would be, for example, through marriage. When it comes to citizenship through marriage, that of course you get when you marry a citizen of some foreign country, of course. Now, there are ways for you to get your second citizenship through the marriage. However, in order for that to happen, you'd probably need to spend some time in that country and to get naturalized after a couple of years. This means that in case that you have a spouse that has a different passport, and in case that your passport allows you to have more than one passport, well, again, it's free, so I don't know why you shouldn't go for it and why you shouldn't get the second passport. You can have it for the emergencies, or you can have it so that you and your spouse do not have to stop by at some border in case that you need a visa and your spouse doesn't. You have the same passport and it would be very easy to travel. In case that you'd like to get your second passport this way, keep in mind that you would need to go through something that's called fast-track naturalization process. Fast-track naturalization is used in case that you have some relatives or in case that you have some family or spouse that is a citizen of some foreign country. So let's say that, for example, you are a US citizen and your spouse is a citizen of some EU country. So in order for you to get citizenship, you would need to go to that European Union country and spend some time there. Usually that time is around 3 years, and after those 3 years, you would get that country's passport. The usual naturalization route in most of the countries is twice as long as the fast-track naturalization. So for example, for you, because you're married to, for example, Italian citizen, the naturalization would take approximately 3 years. However, for someone that is getting a residency in Italy and getting citizenship through regular naturalization, that process would take approximately 10 years. The next way to get citizenship is the citizenship by naturalization, the regular way, without being married to a foreign national or anything like that. So in case that you're interested in doing this, you need to get residency in some place and then live with that residency in that country, and after some amount of time get citizenship. Of course, if you are getting residency together with your spouse, in case that you're living in that country with your spouse, there is no specific reason why both of you shouldn't get that citizenship. For example, already living in Italy, you already have a residency in Italy and you've been living there for 10 years. Why not then go for a second passport together? Again, that depends on whether your country allows you to have dual citizenship or not. In case that it doesn't allow you to get dual citizenship, well, then you should just think about what kind of benefits you would get, for example, with Italian passport or with your primary passport. There may be some things where you would see, for example, that Italy is a part of the EU, so you would have access to the EU. Well, with your primary passport, you do not have access to the EU, or, for example, visa-free travel all in all, or anything like that. It may be worthwhile to renounce your primary passport in order to get that new one together with your spouse. One of the other ways in how you can get citizenship is citizenship by descent. That means that you can get citizenship through some ancestor that was born in some other country. Now, this is only for you. So your spouse cannot really get citizenship by descent based on your ancestor. You can apply for citizenship by descent. It takes a couple of years to get it, and that would be approximately a year to collect documents and 2 years to get approval, sometimes even longer. But what your spouse can do is, once you receive your passport through citizenship by descent, your spouse can get the same passport through citizenship by marriage. So again, similar to what I mentioned earlier, she would probably need to live in that country for some time and to get the fast-track naturalization and get citizenship that way. Once again, considering that this is free, I don't know why you shouldn't do it. Again, depends on your primary passport and depends on the country that is in question over here. But it may be worthwhile to both have, again, the same passport, to not be stopped at the border because one needs a visa and the other one not, but you simply have the same passport and you travel the world together. Another way how you can get citizenship is citizenship by investment. When it comes to citizenship by investment, there are some situations where we do not recommend for other parties to get the second citizenship. Usually, citizenship by investment obviously costs money. And if you want to add your spouse to it, in some cases, the investment amount goes a bit higher if you add your spouse to the application. So again, this costs money. Everything else that we mentioned previously would probably be free. So in case that you want to go for citizenship investment, whether you should add your partner to it or not really depends on the goals and why you actually decided to go through citizenship investment process in the first place. So in case that you want to go for a citizenship investment program, again, it would cost you additionally to add your spouse to it, but It depends on your goals and wishes and why you wanted to get the citizenship investment in the first place. In case that your, for example, reason for it would be Plan B or visa-free access or something like that, then it may be worthwhile for both you and your partner to have the same passport. However, in case that the reason, for example, why you want to get the second passport through citizenship investment would be for you to renounce your US passport and nothing else, then I would generally recommend for you to get the second passport and not your spouse. But in case that you only want to use it for renunciation and nothing else, well, you can be the one that would get citizenship investment by yourself. So just be aware of some of the difficulties that you would face in case that you have different passports. That may be a good thing as well. So if you have children or already, or if you're about to, then the children can have dual citizenship immediately. So they can have, for example, Dominican passport and the US passport. So that's always a good thing again. So let's sum it up. In case that you are married to a foreign national, I don't see a way, I see a reason actually why you shouldn't go for getting the second citizenship, the citizenship of your spouse. If your spouse, for example, or you have the ancestry from some country and you have the possibility to apply for a citizenship by descent, then your spouse can do that, or you, again, depending on who has the ancestor from the relevant country, and another spouse can get it through marriage. In case that you would like to go for citizenship by naturalization, of course, if you move somewhere and live somewhere for 10 years, I assume you do it with your spouse, so you both can actually apply for that passport. And finally, in case that you want to get your second citizenship through citizenship by investment, it depends on the goals and your wishes. So it depends on the reason on why you decided to go for it in the first place. I would suggest for you both to have the same passport because to avoid some hassle in the future. But in case that you want to keep the money, in case that you don't want to pay additionally, or in case that you just only want that second citizenship so that you can renounce, well, then you can get citizenship only for yourself and not for your spouse. But again, be aware of some of the difficulties that you may face in the future. When it comes to either citizenship by descent, citizenship by exception, citizenship by investment, or citizenship by naturalization, Nomad Capitalist has helped a lot of clients to receive their second passport through any of these routes that I just mentioned. So if you're interested in getting the second passport, you're not sure where you want to go, but you do know that you need a second passport, get in touch with us and we'll be able to help you out.